The Middle East remains a region on edge, a tinderbox of political tensions and historical grievances. At the heart of this volatile landscape lies the complex relationship between Israel and Iran. Recently, a chilling question has emerged from the shadows, whispered in hushed tones but carrying the weight of potential global consequences. Will Israel assassinate Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei? The very notion seems unthinkable, a move that could ignite a regional war with unimaginable repercussions. Yet, the question persists, fueled by whispers in the corridors of power and increasingly bold pronouncements in the media. The possibility, however remote, cannot be dismissed out of hand. To understand why, we must delve into the complex dynamics at play, examining the historical precedents, the motivations of the key players, and the potential consequences of such a drastic action. The answers, as we shall see, are far from simple. The question of a potential assassination attempt on Khamenei was thrust into the spotlight by a recent article in a prominent Israeli newspaper. While the article itself did not explicitly advocate for such an action, it laid out the strategic calculations that might lead Israeli decision-makers to consider such a drastic step. The article, met with a mixture of alarm and condemnation internationally, has nonetheless sparked a debate within Israel and beyond about the potential consequences of such a move. It has also shone a light on the deep-seated animosity between the two nations and the lengths to which some believe Israel might be willing to go to curtail Iran's nuclear ambitions and regional influence. The article's publication, regardless of its true intent, has undoubtedly heightened tensions. It serves as a stark reminder of the ever-present potential for miscalculation and escalation in a region already teetering on the brink. Israel's history is replete with examples of targeted killings, often carried out against individuals deemed to pose an existential threat to the nation. From the assassination of Nazi leaders in the aftermath of the Holocaust to the elimination of Palestinian militants, Israel has demonstrated a willingness to use lethal force outside the traditional battlefield when it deems it necessary. In recent years, Israel has been linked to the assassinations of several high-profile figures in the region, including Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar and Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah's deputy, Imad Mughniyeh. These operations, often shrouded in secrecy and met with a mixture of condemnation and grudging admiration, underscore Israel's willingness to take extreme measures to protect its interests. While these past operations do not necessarily predict future actions, they provide a chilling context for understanding the current situation. They serve as a reminder that Israel possesses the capabilities and the willingness to act decisively, even if it means crossing lines that many others would consider unthinkable. Section 4. The Ayatollah and the Scholar: Two Pillars of Power in Iran. To fully grasp the potential ramifications of an assassination attempt on Khamenei, it is crucial to understand the intricate power dynamics within Iran. While Khamenei stands as the supreme leader, his authority is not absolute. He shares power with other influential figures, most notably Grand Ayatollah Ali al-Sistani, the most senior cleric in the Shia Muslim world. Al-Sistani, based in the holy city of Najaf, Iraq, commands immense respect among Shia Muslims worldwide, including a significant following within Iran. While he typically refrains from direct involvement in politics, his pronouncements on matters of faith and morality carry significant weight and can influence the political landscape. He is seen as a voice of moderation and restraint, often acting as a counterbalance to the more hardline elements within the Iranian government. Targeting al-Sistani, even inadvertently, would be a colossal miscalculation for Israel. It would likely inflame anti-Israeli sentiment across the Shia world, potentially destabilizing the region further and uniting Shia factions against a common enemy. Section 5. A line in the sand. The potential fallout of targeting al-Sistani. The potential consequences of an attack on al-Sistani cannot be overstated. He is revered by millions as a symbol of faith and spiritual guidance. An attack on him would be viewed not merely as an attack on an individual, but as an assault on Shia Islam itself. The backlash from such an act would be swift and severe. It could unite Shia communities across the Middle East in a wave of anti-Israeli sentiment, potentially leading to widespread unrest and violence. This could destabilize the entire region, drawing in other actors and escalating the conflict far beyond its initial scope. Moreover, targeting al-Sistani would likely backfire on Israel by strengthening the very forces it seeks to weaken. It could bolster support for hardline elements within Iran, undermining any hope of moderation or dialogue. The Iranian government could exploit the attack to rally its people against a common enemy, solidifying its grip on power and justifying its aggressive policies. Section 6. A calculated risk. Why Israel might consider the unthinkable. Despite the enormous risks, there are several reasons why Israel might contemplate such a drastic action. First and foremost among these is the perceived threat posed by Iran's nuclear program. Israel views a nuclear-armed Iran as an existential threat, believing that Tehran would not hesitate to use such weapons against the Jewish state. Adding to the urgency is the current political climate in Iran. The country is grappling with internal divisions and economic woes, fueled by international sanctions and the government's own mismanagement. Some within Israel may believe that the regime is vulnerable and that removing Khamenei from power could tip the balance, potentially leading to a more moderate government in Tehran. Furthermore, Israel may calculate that the international community, while condemning the act publicly, would ultimately take no meaningful action. They may believe that the world is weary of conflict and that the focus would quickly shift to containing the fallout rather than punishing Israel. Section 7. The waiting game: immediate action versus long-term strategy. While the assassination of Iran's supreme leader remains a possibility, several factors suggest that Israel is unlikely to act on this impulse in the immediate future. First and foremost, Israel is currently preoccupied with more pressing security concerns, including the ongoing conflict in Syria and the ever-present threat from Hezbollah in Lebanon. Moreover, Israel is acutely aware of the potential consequences of such an action and is likely hesitant to take such a gamble without first exhausting all other options. The international backlash, the potential for regional destabilization, and the risk of strengthening hardliners within Iran all weigh heavily on Israeli decision-makers. It is more likely that Israel views the assassination of Khamenei as a last resort, a card to be played only in the most dire of circumstances. For now, Israel appears content to pursue a strategy of containment and deterrence, relying on a combination of diplomacy, covert operations, and the implicit threat of military force to keep Iran's ambitions in check.